I should take these off. Yeah, we're not in direct sunlight. There's no excuse for wearing sunglasses apart from auditioning for ZZ Top, and I haven't got the beard for it.
So I'm in the garden at the moment, the Garden of New Oak, with Jagwag. Jagwag's on trial on Tuesday. There's a 4-day trial set for Injunction, Jag, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. So it's the Cuadrilla injunction put into place by Cuadrilla and the judge as well from the High Court. It was a High Court ruling set in place, I think, around about July 19th. Might be wrong about that.
Yeah, it was the final thing I think went through on July. I'm not sure when the interim one was granted, but to all intents and but yeah, I can't remember the dates.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around about July the 19th.
Yeah, the caravan action was, I think, on the day when they applied for it, or close to it, and then shortly after that they got the interim injunction granted. And
so I think it might have been before that, mate. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Jag's on trial with 2 others. Jag's currently got 3 charges against him. The other 2 have got 5 charges and 4 charges, and it's quite a landmark case with regards to the fracking protest and regards to protests in general, really, and there's quite a bit of interest in it. And that starts Tuesday, and that's in the Manchester High Court. So if you can get there, please go and show your support any way you can. If you see any information coming out about this, then click and share and do your thing on the internet as per usual. Without you guys, it would be a little bit more difficult to get the messages out there. So Jag, tell me, mate, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Yeah, not really, no. I mean, as far as I'm aware, they haven't reinstated the death penalty, and I think what I did was the right thing. So if there are consequences, I guess I'll just have to live with them.
What sort of consequences do you foresee, mate?
I honestly haven't got a clue. It seems that there are 3 possible outcomes, and option 1 is that we get acquitted, which I feel is unlikely because judges like to take themselves seriously, and what they're actually trying us for is contempt of court, not the actual blocking of the highway. And the rule of law must be maintained. So just like you are rarely likely going to see a cop's evidence questioned in court because confidence in the police must be maintained, likewise confidence in the law. So I think that it will be seen more as an affront to the edifice of the law than anything else, and I think that they will be minded to deal with it as harshly as possible. So option 1 seems unlikely. Option 2 is that we get found guilty and receive a suspended sentence, and given that none of us, I think, have been incarcerated before, or that's probably the most likely one. And then of course option 3 is that we get found guilty and actually committed to prison.
So for your part in it, was a part of an action as well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. What was that action again? Can you just remind us?
Yeah, we took 3 of the most rubbish devices you could ever have hoped to find, and we just slapped him down in the bowel mouth and waited for him to cut us out. I think when they finally got on scene, me and my partner were out in about 11 minutes, and we weren't the quickest one out. There was one device which held out for a couple of hours, and that was good because it allowed the BBC to get on scene and actually get some footage, and there were some interviews, so we got a little local coverage. To be honest, we weren't particularly media savvy. We didn't issue any statements or anything like that, because that's really not, but people did. People spoke on our behalf, and they didn't say anything I particularly disagreed with. So that it was good that they thought about that, but we weren't in the slightest bit media savvy.
You say the BBC were there?
I believe that they were, yes.
Did they not? Did the BBC film anything before the arrest? Because, pardon me for being cynical, it's the BBC, so I don't think you'll think I'm being cynical. I think that you'll agree. But every time the BBC turn up, they don't get the cameras out until someone's arrested. So all the build-up beforehand, all the integral stuff, the stuff that informs people out there what goes on leading up to what happened.
Yeah,
they don't cover.
They're not so hot on context, I will give you that.
Yeah, they don't care about context.
No, not really. But hey, this is state radio. Why would they be concerned about context? They have script.
State radio, indeed. This is state radio. So get on this state radio and get sharing. Right, okay. So it's the same judge that put the order into place.
Yep.
he put it in with a number of stipulations for Cuadrilla, I assume, about proof, evidence, because leading up to all these cases, they must have took it into account, previous cases, but leading up to all these cases, I've been in a case where they did me with little or no evidence. Quite a few people from Lock-ons, from actions at Preston New Road, have been tried and convicted with very little evidence.
Oh yeah.
So the judge in this case did warn Cuadrilla, if they was going to put the injunction into place regarding loss of earnings, etc., that they would need to be coming up with damning evidence to say that you guys have whatever the charges against you. So your charge is quite simple, I believe. It's breaching an injunction, isn't it?
Yes, it's contempt of court, basically.
Contempt of court.
Yeah.
The high end of it all is going to jail, right? You've not been in jail before.
Not in this country, no.
What's your opinion? Let me ask you then, right? If you've never been to jail before, mate, I know we can talk about it openly, because I'm not going to shit you, mate. Jail's not an easy place,
no.
Right? I'm not going to turn around and give you a bit of XR handbook advice and tell you that it's a good time to get to do a bit of yoga.
I'm not white or middle class, man. I'm in for a hard time.
Okay, so the only thing I would say,
I am white. I'm just not middle class.
You are white indeed. Yeah, you're quite kind of a pinky brown.
Yeah.
But what I would say about going in jail, my advice on going in jail is don't borrow anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the advice you gave me: head down, gob shut, don't get anything on, don't borrow.
Don't borrow anything on tick, because they've got something in jail which they call
double bubble. Yeah.
Okay, you're aware of that. That's good. So don't borrow anything. And when you go in with your clear plastic bag, make sure anything you don't want seeing in that clear plastic bag is on your person.
Right.
Yeah. When you carry through your bag from the overnight stay to the wing. Okay. If you do get a bit of time, then my advice would be to get sign up for a bit of education, a bit of library. Always go to every club you can, because there's not many in there. And if they say to you, do you want to sign up for the library, that's every Monday or every Tuesday, say dump everything you can. I don't personally think you'll go to jail.
No.
But I didn't think the Frat Free would go to jail, in all honesty. And they did. But that's been proven, and the Lord Chief Justice said that sentence, and that was
manifestly excessive with his words.
Yeah, manifestly. There's going to be quite a bit of support there, I believe.
Yes.
There's quite a few going. Yeah. Is there an event set up?
Do you know, I honestly don't know. The people who are organising... Yes, actually, I believe that there is... there's going to be a silent vigil. Some of the... I'm not sure whether it's just the... the Wednesday women, the women in white, or the nanas. I mean, they're interlocking groups. I'm not sure if it's limited to them, but there are apparently a group of them who are going to protest in silence as a symbol of the way that the injunction is there to silence protest. Which I think is probably going to be better than shouting and banner waving, which these days people are pretty much desensitized to. Yeah. It's a shame, because there's a lot on those banners worth reading, but of course, people are just conditioned to look the other way just in case they accidentally educate themselves.
Yeah, I think with this as well, there's a bit of a grey area in this, because obviously, although everybody wants to make some noise outside of the court, they don't want to put your trial in jeopardy.
That's right.
Which can be done. I mean, my experience in court is one of a good one, really. I think it's from having a good brief as well.
Yeah.
And that would be Richard Brigden, which I do recommend, from Lazars. He does work for Lazars. He does represent myself. So it's a 4-day trial.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Can you see it going 4 days?
I don't know. I've never been in this sort of situation before. They've always been like criminal trials. I don't know who they're going to call to speak in person.
Ghostbusters.
That could work.
You're going to call Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Well, it's who are you going to call? Richard Brigg. Yeah, quite. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. But it's a learning experience, and apart from everything else,
it's a learning curve.
Well, it is. I mean, we're all going to find out something from this, and the important thing, I think, is that the legal team are going to learn something about how to defend these kind of actions, which they will be doing an awful lot in the future, and people who are considering taking action in an area where such a legal instrument is in force are going to know what to expect. And if they make a big example of us, that's going to discourage a few people, and the people it doesn't discourage are going to make sure their actions are well worth doing time for. So, you know, all in all, I don't see this as a, however it comes out, I don't see it as a bad situation for us. I mean, I think the best that Cuadrilla can hope for, I think, is a nice, quiet, guilty but suspended sentence that isn't going to generate an awful lot of outrage.
So yeah, so it's a 4-day trial starting on the 25th.
Yeah.
9:30, I believe, at Manchester Courts of Justice.
Yes, I believe so.
It is, and if you can get there for support, you might not go into the courtroom. The courtroom doesn't have room for everybody. They'll have a specific amount of room for people to get in there and show the support, maybe take it in turns or whatever. But if you are in and around that building as well, there's also a few buildings you could go and visit in the meantime.
Yeah.
The Working Class Museum and the People's Museum as well.
Yeah.
The People's Museum's a good place to go if you're into history, if you're into industrialised history and striking and etc. And people, basically, get around there. But if you can show your support for this trial, it's an integral trial. It's a really important one, and one that made a difference, one that made a massive difference. The cops down at Preston New Road and the security, along with the other guys, Cuadrilla, initially leading up to this injunction, used it as a yardstick against everybody down at Preston New Road. They advised everybody down at Preston New Road that once the injunction would be in place, they'd all go home. And that was the truth. They was approaching myself and saying things are, you won't be doing this soon when the injunction's in. Now this action took that injunction by the scruff of the neck, and it ragged Cuadrilla about. So it's no secret that Cuadrilla don't want to see these, you know, Cuadrilla want to see these guys in jail. It's no secret at all, but Cuadrilla ultimately don't get to make that decision, the judge does. So if you can show your support for these guys on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, or all four, then get them down there and please show it.
Yeah.
Jag, mate, thanks for speaking.
No worries, and just one quick word for the representatives of the industry who are going to be there. See you next Tuesday.